stories or experiences or comments that they want to share about other police departments, this just isn't the place for that. Sorry. But I will be sure to kindly, tell you that this is not the place, and maybe we can help you, find the right source to share your information with. All right. And so next, before I introduce the Colonel, I just want to go over a few housekeeping items. Restrooms are to the left. If you're sitting in the audience, to your right. So out this hall, take a left and another left and literally another left, and you'll see the restrooms. There is a defibrillator out in the hallway as well if anyone has any medical emergencies. And Joe is an EMT and he knows how to use it. Next, this is a safe space, like the county executive said. Folks should feel comfortable sharing their opinion. We don't have to agree. We won't always agree, but let's be respectful of one another. For the people on Zoom, if at any point tonight you cannot hear me, please put it in the chat. Let us know if you're having issues hearing or seeing. And last but not least, there is time at the end of the meeting for public comment. So if you're in person and you'd like to offer public comment, you can add your name to the sign-up sheet and we'll call on you at the end of the night. And if you are on Zoom, you can utilize the raise your hand function and we will ask you to unmute and then provide your public comment. Everyone will have 3 minutes to speak. I'll keep a timer going to make sure that everything is fair. Any questions? All righty. Well, next we are going to hear from Colonel Block. He is the Chief of Police at Newcastle County Police Department. He's going to be giving us an overview of Newcastle County Police Department. This is probably the first of many presentations from Newcastle County PD. If you all, want to learn about a specific topic or policy, we can ask the Colonel to send a representative to come here and talk about that policy with us. No further ado.
All right, thank you for that introduction and welcome everyone. I think I tried to meet all of you before we started today, just to say hello. But I didn't get a chance. I think a few people slipped in after I sat down. Welcome, good evening. My name is Joseph Block and I am the Colonel of the Newcastle County Division of Police. I have held the position of Chief of Police since October of 2021. And have been a sworn officer for almost 30 years. I would like to begin by reading directly from the message which I posted to our website shortly after I had the privilege of being appointed to this position by the county executive in 2021. Although it was almost 3 years ago, I stand by this message and believe it is still relevant today. I am proud to serve as the Colonel of the Newcastle County Division of Police. It is an honor to represent the men and women of this police department, a department that prides itself in providing professional police service by maintaining vital partnerships with the communities we serve. The division is built upon a strong foundation of community policing, and we remain dedicated to making our communities safer through the use of innovative, efficient, and effective police strategies. Over the years, we have refused to remain silent and have evolved to better serve the needs of our communities. During recent calls for police reform, I can proudly say that Newcastle County Division of Police proved itself a trailblazer, having already implemented many of the aspects of reform prior to the recommendations. As other recommendations emerged, we immediately made modifications to some of our policies, procedures, and training to appropriately address many of the concerns of the residents that we serve. It is my promise to the officers that I represent and the citizens of Newcastle County that we continue to lead the police profession to address the challenges that lie ahead. Now, if I could just speak a little bit about the division, we're 426 square miles. Population police is approximately 433,000 residents. We have an authorized strength of 415 officers, although we are currently 59 officers short of full strength. We are a full service agency that serves all the unincorporated residential areas of Newcastle County. Although we are authorized to enforce state laws in all Newcastle County, our primary jurisdiction is the neighborhoods and apartment complexes off the main roads. If there's ever a question about jurisdiction, please feel free to bring it up to Captain Faulkner or Director Bond, as it does get a little bit confusing in certain areas of the county. So I want to go over our mission statement. The members of Newcastle County Police are dedicated to making our community safer through the professional delivery of police services while actively engaging in innovative problem-solving and cooperative partnerships. Our vision, Newcastle County Police, for the purpose of enhancing the safety and quality of life for our residents, shall continue to foster a culture of professional delivery of responsive, efficient police services through innovative problem-solving, effective communications, technology, and cooperative partnerships. And the last one is our philosophy, which I wasn't going to read because it's so long, but I thought it was important that I read the first paragraph here, which I feel demonstrates what I hope to accomplish with this board. To accomplish our mission, there must be a joint effort and understanding between the police and the citizens of Newcastle County. These joint efforts and partnerships create a strong foundation of trust and cooperation, which are the roots of community policing. So we are an accredited law enforcement agency. We're accredited by an organization called CALEA. CALEA stands for the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. The purpose of CALEA's accreditation program is to improve the delivery of public safety services, primarily by maintaining a body of standards developed by public safety practitioners covering a wide range of up-to-date public safety initiatives, establishing and administrating an accreditation process, and recognizing professional excellence. All accredited agencies demonstrate their voluntary commitment to law enforcement excellence by living up to a body of standards deemed essential to the protection of life, health, and the safety and the rights of citizens it serves, and having exemplified the best professional practices in the conduct of its responsibilities. So our agency maintains compliance with 375 CALEA standards. There are approximately 800 law enforcement agencies across this country that are currently CALEA accredited in the United States, Canada, Mexico, and Barbados. Annually, our agency participates in a compliance review conducted by CALEA staff. Since 1988, we have been recognized as a flagship agency, received the new meritorious agency status for maintaining accreditation status for 15 or more consecutive years. And we have been awarded advanced law enforcement accreditation with excellence. I just want to note that there are less than 40 agencies in the United States that have this accreditation standard. So I want to take this opportunity to thank those of you who have volunteered to be a member of this commission, and to all those who join us tonight virtually for this inaugural meeting. I truly believe that our department is part of our community, and I am certain that our department could not be as effective as we are without the support of our communities. The last few years have been a tumultuous time for law enforcement across this country, but I've always been proud of the relationships we have maintained with our stakeholders. Our division of police has been committed to a community policing philosophy for as long as I have been an officer, and we will work hard to maintain a balance of law enforcement and community relations. Our officers routinely come in contact with people in our communities during their darkest moments. I often preach to our officers that the contact they have with others may seem inconsequential to them. However, they will often leave an impression with them that will last a lifetime. When wearing this uniform, they represent themselves, this agency, and the entire law enforcement profession, and they should always strive to make positive impressions. I look forward to working with this board in an effort to provide the best possible police service to the communities we serve. Thank you.
So, any questions for members of Newcastle County PD after that presentation, or are you guys okay to move on to the next agenda item? Awesome, okay. So next we are going to, oh, this is the fun part. No offense, Chief. But we are going to get into chair and vice chair elections. So, the way, I think we can structure this, for the sake of time, is what I'll do is I will ask any and everyone on the board who's interested in serving as chair to just raise your hand. So anyone who's interested in serving as chair, can you raise your hand, please? And before you raise your hand, just really quickly, the role of the chair, is to run the meetings. So I know I'm doing a lot of talking now, but this will essentially be your role, if you decide, or if you're voted chair. You will be asked to run meetings, maybe have some, individual meetings outside of the board meetings. And for vice chair, if the chair is not present, then you will be acting as chair, essentially. All right, any questions? All right, so if folks are ready, please raise your hand if you're interested in serving as chair. And what I'll do is I'll call on you, give you a few seconds to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be chair. And then we'll open the floor up for the vote. Is that okay? Good. All righty. So everyone jump in once now. Who wants to be chair? Do I see two hands. I see two hands, okay? So we have, Kim and Doug. So Kim, if you can, take a little bit of time to tell us a little about yourself, and then Doug will allow you to share a little bit about yourself as well, and then we can vote. Is that okay?
No, that's a question. Can we do introductions of board members before we do chair?
I don't see, I'm sorry, let me go to the lawyer. Mike is our lawyer, and if you did introductions, you would know that. But this is Mike right here, Mike should be, can we move the agenda around a little bit?
Because once we get a chair, we will have a little more ability to move things around and get things going. We kind of had that first. Yeah.
Okay, so the lawyer said no. And we appreciate him so much, but that was a great idea, Tanya. Someone else recommended that we have name tags for the next meeting, and I'm on that. So I will go right back to you, Kim, to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you are why you think you should be chair.
Good evening, everyone. I've volunteered to run for chair largely because of my work experience. And I also know that it's sometimes an uncomfortable role for people to fill. I wasn't sure there would be a lot of people that were interested in doing it. So I am the executive director of a nonprofit, and we have a lot of board meetings, and I've been involved with boards for a couple of decades. So it's something I am familiar with, and I understand the process, generally speaking, that I feel like I would be beneficial in helping to facilitate, especially as this is a new board and we're new with each other. So it's largely my skill set that I thought would be beneficial for you all, and why I volunteered to take this on.
Doug?
She can have.
So one of the reasons why I did volunteer, because ain't nobody raised their hand. Very important that somebody will step up,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I got 30+ years in the behavioral health field. I've been previously incarcerated, so I've experienced on both sides of the fence, and I understand the importance of our safety, right? And the officer's safety, because everybody approach situations different, and a lot of us be nervous when everything's happening. So I think I would be very effective with my knowledge, information that I have, and just being a people person. But she can get it. I don't have no problem. I'm not really running. I'm just letting you know where I'm at, where I'm coming from, but I'm here.
Well, we appreciate you being here. So you're gonna drop out the race?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. You do have
All right. Now, okay, everyone, we're gonna get to that. Everyone in favor of electing Kim Eppenheimer as chair, please raise your hand.
Everybody, you know, I mean, there you go.
Alrighty, is confirmed as chair of the Newcastle County Police Accountability Board. And just really quickly, you did not see Director Bond or Captain Faulkner raise their hand because they are not voting members on the board. So if you see them not raising their hand, they're not protesting or anything like that. They're not voting members. All right, so vice chair, who is interested in serving as vice chair? All right, so we got Doug and Kevin, okay, y'all know the drill.
Yeah.
Kevin, would you like to go first?
Yeah, my name is Kevin Evans. I'm a retired financial services professional with over 30 years in the business. For the last 7 years, I've run 3 nonprofits. So we have much in common, Ken and I. I'm a registered parliamentarian, one of the first in the state of Delaware. I'm a registered parliamentarian.
Yeah.
I'm registered or I'm certified in parliamentary procedure. And so I understand Robert's rules of order and et cetera. And I think that would be the asset I could add to the chairman, as he puts it to the chairman, process it, motions, rules, all things for again to keep the board moving forward.
Yeah.
Listen, I got a lot of experience doing this work. I've done with every nonprofit in Delaware, just about. I have a stronghold on the community. People know who I am. My work is very effective, and I'm good at what I do. And I don't mind kind of like learning. I'm open for new information, and I think I'll be good in that position. But
Okay,
here we go.
okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to open up the floor for a vote. Everyone in favor of Mr. Kevin Evans serving as vice chair, please raise your hand. No pressure. Okay, everyone in favor of Doug serving as vice chair, raise your hand. Sean, what you vote?
I didn't know. I was still saying,
What you vote?
I'm going to do
Alright, so can everyone raise their hand again for Doug? 1, 2, 3, I think I see 4. So that means that Mr. Evans is going to be vice chair.
Thank you.
You all can, as a board, you all can, establish other roles or committees and things of that nature. And Mr. Doug will be perfect for whatever y'all have. I'm sure, you guys can think of something. But with that being said, I'm gonna pass it over to our, board attorney, Mike. So if you guys ever have any legal questions, Mike, on the corner there is here to answer any questions that we may have. You can email him, call him, I'm sorry, Mike. You can call him, text him anytime. Just kidding. Alright.
I strive to be available. Here in the board council. And right now, I'm just gonna go over a quick FOIA breakdown, because as a public meeting, as a public body of the meeting, we have to have FOIA. And currently, I would say that I will provide a more comprehensive Freedom of Information Act FOIA presentation at the next meeting. But for today, I just kind of want to go over a couple of the important ones for this general session. Again, Police Accountability Board is subject to FOIA. And that means that it's a formal, informal gathering of a quorum, which is the majority of the members for the purpose of discussing public business, either in person or virtually, at a meeting. While this is a formal meeting, if there's an informal gathering, which is a majority of the members, and that informal gathering discusses public business, that's subject to FOIA. Also email chains. If it's a majority of people on the board and it's discussing public information, that's FOIA. So please take that into account when conducting business is how important it is to retain records and to know that public comment is necessary for those kind of events. There are executive sessions which allow for a closure of a meeting, but those are very specific and have to be noticed in the agenda. The limitations are defined by statute, and at the next meeting, I'll go over a more comprehensive review of them. But currently, I would say the one to take into account is, there's a discussion involving whether a, document is on the record that that can be done in a special session, executive session. If there is a question of activity of law enforcement agency and its efforts to collect information leading to criminal apprehension, but only in that specific kind of circumstance, that's also an executive session. How executive session happens is the board chair would make an announcement that they would like to go into one, and it's already referenced in the agenda. At that point, the board would vote, and if the board agrees, they go into executive session. However, you have to come out of executive session to close the meeting. You still have to allow public comment afterwards, even if that portion was away from the public. And lastly, because it's open records and under FOIA, the agenda has to be followed. So the agenda is a very important document, which we will strive to make sure it gets out in the prescribed amount of time. And what we mean by the agenda must be followed is that any information discussed in public comment would have to deal with something with the agenda. So if there is questions as to whether a public comment may not be in the agenda category, that's where the chair would step in, if not the vice chair, and they can always come to me for questions on that. And lastly, with the agenda, I'll have to say that under the Delaware Open Records Law, if someone's willful or seriously disruptive conduct for a public meeting, the chair may also request that public comment may be removed. So, please have some decorum, and that is all I have for you right now.
Thank you. Any questions for Mike right now? Thanks, Mike. And so now we're gonna move into board member introduction. So let's see. Hey, Krista, you was first in my view. Do you mind starting us off by introducing yourself? So telling us your name, which organization you're representing here, maybe a little bit about what you do or your background, really anything that you think we should know. And we could limit it to about maybe 2-3 minutes per person.
I will keep this under. Good evening. My name is Krista J. Davis. I am an educator. I come from the Newcastle County Tech School District. I've been in education essentially since I left high school. So I left high school and then started teaching at a Montessori school almost immediately. I love children. Children love me. That's like where things work for me. I previously worked in a Montessori school. I was an English educator for a long time. I worked as an instructional coach. I'm currently a literacy specialist and an equity coordinator for my district. So I have a lot of opportunities to work with other adults, write policies, prepare professional learning, things of that sort. I was nominated by my superintendent and kind of went forward, and here I am today. I look forward to actually learning a lot from other people on the board, as well as making contributions, but this is completely outside of what I normally do on a day-to-day basis, but I'm excited to be here.
For those that don't know, Brian Faulkner, I'm a captain of the Newcastle County Division of Police. I am the Community Engagement Section Commander, so I oversee our Community Services Unit, which most of you hopefully would have seen out in the community at different events, National Night Out, Faith and Blue, and at different community meetings. I also oversee our Behavioral Health Unit, which is the county executive mentioned earlier, is our Mental Health and Addiction Response Unit. And obviously, I'm the Colonel's designee, non-voting member here on the board with you. So excited for the opportunity to work with you. This is a great opportunity, great potential here.
Good evening, everyone. Vaughn Bond, the Director of Public Safety for Newcastle County, retired in 2021 as Chief of Police after 30 years of service for the Newcastle County Police Department. In my current role, I oversee the Division of Police, Division of Emergency Medical Services, which is our paramedics, Division of Communications, 911 Center, as well as Office of Emergency Management. I'm excited about this opportunity here. Throughout my career, I've always felt that Newcastle County was one of the best in terms of community relations and community service. And I know that a lot of questions have been asked about
law enforcement, especially in the passing, the heinous murder of Mr. George Floyd. And a lot of the relationships that we had at one point, not just Newcastle County, but all police departments, were severely damaged by that. And we have been, as law enforcement, we have been very focused on trying to regain that public trust and making sure that we're meeting the needs of the members that we serve, the community that we serve. So I'm very hopeful that this board will come together, work with us, and in turn provide us with ideas, suggestions that we can use that we can better service the communities.
Hey, Kevin Evans, again, retired 30-year financial services professional, retired for the last 7 years. I'm currently executive director of 3 nonprofits, one based here in Delaware, one in Virginia, and North Carolina. Again, registered parliamentarian, and again, look, just I'm a research hound. So I'm the type of person that you give a task, you know, to get it done, and I'll come back to you with more information you requested. But I look forward to again using my skill sets and background to help ensure there's additional transparency between the public and the police department in Newcastle County. Look forward to again serving you.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean Nixon, representing the Delaware Center for Justice, where I am the board president. In my current role, I am a senior advisor for youth and family engagement within the United States Children's Bureau, within Administration for Children and Families. I'm very passionate about building community, no matter what community that I'm in. So I'm very excited to focus on this with you all. Within my current role, I focus on alleviating poverty in the United States Children's Bureau with the child welfare system. And so I'm looking forward to bringing my knowledge and expertise in that area within this board.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, Mike and Bishop Gibson looking at each other. I was gonna go, might as well, let's go to Bishop. Bishop.
Well, tell us Good evening to you all. I'm Bishop George Gibson. I serve as pastor of the Love Nation for the last 44 years. I am the president of IMAC, the Young Nation Ministers Action Council. I'm the president of the Newcastle County Delaware Fatherhood Family Coalition, author, adjunct professor, work at LEAP, which is Labor's Economics, Education, and Empowering People as a case manager for students that be processed through laborers through direct access to Local 199 and the unions, and also development of CDL workers that we put into the union and access them into good paying jobs and a life change. And, love life, glad to be here. And I'm excited about working with new people.
My name is Jenna Delterio. I am the reading specialist at the school in the Brandywine School District. And I see so much overlap in the education and policing professions. And I think that there's so much value in the partnerships and in, you know, when we get out of our silos, whether that's community or whether that's, you know, like I said, the specific profession. So I'm excited to be here. And also hopefully to be a voice for some of my students who, you know, live in communities where they might not have those relationships yet. Sean?
Good evening, my name is Sean Green. I'm here representing ACLU of Delaware. With the Center for Structural Equity in Wilmington, where we do prevention work with high-risk youth. For education, we're in a lot of the schools and anything overall community-based and public health.
Hi everyone, I am Tanya Weddle. I'm a socio-legal scholar with focus in criminal justice and, with a particular focus on discretion, corrections, and street level bureaucrats. So as you were mentioning, teachers and police, really those people that, do decision making and, turn policy on paper into policy in action. I'm looking forward to, working with everyone.
Well, I'm Doug Hamilton again. I work for the Division of Substance Abuse and Mental Health, the Bridge Clinic. So I do a lot of work with Newcastle County. I'm talking about people, we everywhere. We're really everywhere. And they understand homeless population is everywhere and we just try to do our part. I also work as a outreach coordinator for Henrietta Johnson Medical Center. What I do for DSAM, I work with the guys transitioning from incarceration. If you ever come in front of Gander Hill, the prison, you'll see a big RV out there. So I'm like the first point of contact when they come out. When they get released, I sign them up for services, whether it's mental health, substance abuse treatment. I help them with housing if they're available, they need a phone call, make sure they get a phone call, give them a bus pass. We have food, we have clothing, we have a variety of different things. So my passion is working with people overall. I work inpatient treatment, I've done outpatient, I've done the whole thing, but I think like this is where I want to be.
Hi, I'm Norwood Coleman, and I'm actually the executive clinical administrator at the Lighthouse Center. We actually were able to put Newcastle County the first elementary school wellness center in traditional public school. It's a big piece of my passion is making physical health, mental health, as we address the social determinants of health. And so being on this board, so it really, for me is a really big honor to be able to be a part of connecting how our communities, remain safe, how we keep our officers safe, how we keep our children and our community members safe. So to be on this panel with all these, tremendous folks is really quite exciting. So I'm looking forward to the journey we take.
Madam Chair.
Oh dear. Good evening, everyone. Again, Kim Ethingheimer, and I'm the Executive Director of Friendship House. And as I'm sitting here listening to you all share, I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. Everything you've said is what I feel. It's quite an honor to be here. I'm excited. I'm admittedly a little nervous of what will happen with all of this amazingness that's here at this table and in this room and on Zoom. There's a lot of potential. And I think being that this is the first board, there's also a lot of opportunity for us, and that gets me really excited. Bridging that gap, as you all have said, with community is really important to me. It's a mission of Friendship House is to literally connect people with communities, a place they can call home, and that is the entire piece. It's not just a house, it's not just knowing they've got employment, but it's knowing that they are part of that community, and it's knowing that they are one with the police as well as the teachers, as well as the mental health workers, as well as anyone else in their community. And so I'm hoping that we can continue to bring light to those relationships, and this is one step forward on that. So I'm very honored to be part of this. I look forward to working with all of you.
Okay, I get to go last. It's a hard thing to follow. I'm Pam Brooks Grimes. Good evening, everyone. I am here. Why am I here? I am a mom of two amazing young men who saved my life in 2010. Speaking of that, I'm a domestic violence survivor, not a victim. I am a strong advocate. I wear many hats. I'm formerly of DHSS, Department of Health and Social Services. I recently retired, don't be jealous, in March. So this is everything worked out exactly the time that it should have. So I'm in the room of some amazing, amazing, phenomenal folks. So I'm just ready to dig in and get to work and make some changes for the better.
Hey, the Newcastle County Police Accountability Board, everyone. It's one of the best boards that I've ever seen. It's one of the most diverse. It's the most knowledgeable board I've seen, and I'm really looking forward to working with each and every one of you guys, on this issue. And so next, we're gonna go over our bylaws. They're in your binders. And basically all the, documents that we go over today are in your binders. And so I'm gonna pass it to, Mike to talk a little bit about the bylaws and open up the floor for discussion, and hopefully we can either approve, amend, or maybe keep these for next meeting, but hopefully amend, or, approve these bylaws today, so that way we can really start getting into board business, because we can't really enter board business until we pass these bylaws. That's what Mike told me.
He's correct.
It's correct, yes.
The parliamentarian said, we're on the right track, all right.
So the board has been provided with a set of bylaws that have been drafted by Newcastle County. And you are welcome to ask to modify them now and vote, or if you would like, you can vote for them now, and then at a next meeting or another meeting, we can modify them as required. Currently, the bylaws essentially just kind of reflect what ordinance 23-148 stated. And also gives power and duty, it also provides duties and powers to the board, such as allowing for the Robert's Rules of Order to. Some of the things in not the bylaws that you should consider in the future would be, there's nothing in the bylaws about committees. I know that a lot of boards like they have committees, that's something that we can revisit. Changing a forum, there's a variety of different things which you as a board have that power to change. But currently, if you have any questions, I'm here.
So do we have any questions, suggestions, or comments regarding the bylaws?
I move that the bylaws be approved as presented.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Sounds like it's vote. Yes, alrighty. Well, the bylaws have passed.
We're effective and efficient.
Yeah.
Thank you, Captain. And so moving right along, to our meeting schedule moving forward. I'd like to propose that we meet the third Tuesday of each month. At this time, so 6 to 7:30, sometimes the meeting can run till 8. But I don't see that happening often. Is this day and time work for folks for the most part? Like, it's okay if you have to miss a meeting or two because you're like on vacation or something like that, but does this time work for folks? If you're not sure right now, okay. If you're not sure right now, I can always send out a doodle poll or some other options via email after this meeting, or are we okay to lock in this? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Easy. Alrighty. And so next, we are going to move to other business. Now, this is the part of the agenda where you all can basically talk about anything that you see fit, right, Mike?
Within the board chair's discretion.
Within the board chair's discretion, so Kim's discretion, you are able to talk about whatever you like, but Kim may say, let's hold this for another meeting, or let's talk about this offline. But I want to use the time to just call attention to the letter that the county executive sent to the board earlier today. Basically, the letter is encouraging you all to explore different policies that address shooting at moving vehicles, because the county exec wants to take a closer look at Newcastle County Police Department's policy and see how we can improve that. Any questions? Kevin?
No question.
Any comments or suggestions?
I'll serve as a point person for gathering that information if people want to, look at different policies from different jurisdictions. Want to send them to me, I can put together a complete list so that when we get to the next meeting, we can review the
That was actually my next question. I was gonna ask. What would be the process of us submitting this data for the board to be able to review?
Well, that's up to you all. Matt didn't specifically say, how he wants you all to do it. I know we have to create a report with recommendations by the end of the year. And so whatever you guys come up with could probably go into that report. But it's really up to you all. So if you wanna kind of make this like your first kind of topic or point of business, that's fine too. But yeah, it's up to you guys. So I'll kind of stop talking and we gotta, a volunteer to put together the research. Is there anyone else who, wants to work with Kevin to come up with this research or anything? Okay, Sean?
That may be something for when the committee, when you have a.
We'll have a formal committee established, right?
Oh, okay, the lawyer has spoken. All right, so, the board will talk about how they're going to consolidate that research, at a later time. When we have possibly a committee to address those things. Okay. Any other, Tanya?
Is there any information that, our colleagues from law enforcement can provide on this? I mean, because I'm thinking some things can be changed internally and, I'm sure there's already been some work done around this. So anything maybe at the next meeting you could educate us about so we know what already has been done, and where we should move forward would be helpful.
Yeah, Director Bond, Captain Faulkner, would you like to respond?
Well, I'll say this, with the policies, our policies are constantly being updated and reviewed as part of PALIA, but also, is just how we operate a police department. There's no policy that you have that is written and set in stone. I always say that policies are living and breathing documents that you have to go in and touch. Now, I can speak to this policy, and I think here in the letter, the executive, he actually references the latest policy, which I think was reworked in October of 2022, I believe. But prior to that, we had another policy. So my point is that we can provide information, but just know that the policies are always constantly being evolved to reflect, the lessons that we learned, things that have happened across this country causes us to take a look at our policies to say, okay, what does our policy say? How do we handle this? And then we go back to the authority and we so that we have what we believe are the best practices as policy.
So in the interim, most of our policies are on our website. So if you go to the NCCPAB webpage, there's a section, scroll halfway down, I believe it says, view our policies. Have all our public facing policies there.
You mind if I send the link out?
That's
in
what I
a
can say, I
minute?
can get you the link
Okay.
and they would get it out to everybody.
Any more questions? For the Captain or Director Bond? And that was a good question. Director Bond and Captain Faulkner are here as resources to us. So if you have any questions about the specifics of like their policies or practices, these are the folks who you can ask and they're supportive. So yeah, that's great. Awesome. Any more questions? So now, we are going to move to public comment. Do I have anyone in person who would like to provide public comment? Right, Brian's checking.
I see, Mercedes Watson.
Yeah, I think he did that by accident.
That's it, no one else.
Okay.
In person, I'll check do you want to ask if
Yeah,
anyone wants?
is there anyone on Zoom who would like to provide virtual public comment? If so, please raise your hand at this time. All right, it looks like we have no public comment virtually or in person. So if it's okay with you guys, we can conclude today's meeting unless there's anything else. So,
Meeting location.
glad you brought that up.
I think, in order for a lot of the community to actively involved, you should look at Route 9 Library. Because people go to bus line and people go to access physically to the meeting. Right now, all the way out here, not gonna get a lot of. That's short. So I think we should take a look at different meeting locations, give public opportunity.
Is it okay if can I put a motion on the floor to vote on the next location meeting and make it? Okay, I would like to motion that we have our next meeting at the Route 9 Public Library, if it's available. Okay, all right, and if not, I'll reach out to you guys and we can figure out something else, but thank you for recommending that. Any other questions or suggestions?
And then where will the meeting minutes be stored currently? Where are other documents related to board? Where will all that be stored?
It will be stored on our website and the Agenda Center. The Agenda Center, it hosts, basically the minutes and agendas for all the county boards. And our website, which is where you currently found the agenda, has our responsibilities and all the membership info. We upload the agenda and minutes there as well. But I can send the minutes out to them after this meeting, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll send the minutes to you guys, via email, but the public can find the minutes and agendas on our website.
So then in terms of any working documents that we're working on, whether it's at the committee level or even at the board level, can that be all done, what we would call offline, until it gets to a point that it's been passed, so we can decide how we want to store or work on our documents as a board, is that correct?
That's a question that I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Any more questions? These are awesome. Alrighty, well, thank you all for coming out today, members of the public.
You need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Oh, sorry.
This meeting,
Motion,
move that we adjourn this meeting at 7:02 p.m.
second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
No.
Okay, okay.
I told you that.
Okay.